If you stop watching this video right now, you might continue losing the most precious thing you have without even knowing it. And that loss could quietly steal away your independence, one day at a time. Picture this morning. You wake up in your own bed, the same bed you've slept in for years. But something feels different. Your legs feel a little heavier as you swing them over the side. Your hands shake just slightly as you reach for your morning coffee. Maybe you noticed it yesterday when you struggled to open that pickle jar. Or last week, when climbing those 3 steps to your front porch left you more winded than usual. You might think it's just another part of getting older. That it's normal. That there's nothing you can do about it. But what if I told you that's not true? There's a silent thief that's been visiting millions of American homes, slipping through unlocked doors, taking something incredibly valuable while families sleep. This thief doesn't make noise. It doesn't leave obvious signs. It works so slowly, so quietly, that most people don't even realize they've been robbed until years have passed. This thief has a name. It's been stealing strength from your muscles, balance from your steps, and confidence from your daily activities. It's the reason why simple tasks that used to be effortless now feel challenging. It's why your grip isn't as firm, why your legs don't feel as steady, why that feeling of being strong and capable seems to be fading away. But here's what most people don't know, and what doctors often don't tell you soon enough. This silent thief can be stopped. In fact, it can be completely turned around. The strength it stole can be given back to you, sometimes in just weeks. The confidence it took away can return. The independence it threatened can be protected. And it all starts with understanding what this thief really is, and then making one simple change that could transform how you feel every single day. A change so simple, you probably have everything you need already sitting in your kitchen. Truff 1. Meet your guide. My name is Dr. Amanda Lewis, and for the past 25 years, I've dedicated my life to helping people just like you reclaim their strength and vitality. I've walked alongside thousands of seniors as they've faced this same challenge, and I've seen the incredible transformation that's possible when you have the right knowledge and take the right action. That silent thief I mentioned, it has a medical name, Sarcopenia. Just 3 years ago, the World Health Organization officially recognized it as a disease. Not just a normal part of aging, but an actual condition that can be diagnosed, treated, and reversed. Sarcopenia literally means flesh poverty. Starting around age 30, we begin losing muscle mass at a rate of 3 to 8% per decade. But here's the thing that most people don't understand. After age 60, that loss accelerates dramatically. By age 70, many people have lost 20 to 40% of their muscle mass. That's not just numbers on a medical chart. That's your strength, your stability, your ability to live independently. But I want you to know something important right now. You're not alone in this. If you're feeling weaker than you used to, if simple tasks have become harder, if you're worried about falling or losing your independence, these feelings are completely understandable. And more importantly, they're not permanent. I've seen 70-year-olds regain the strength they had at 50. I've watched 80-year-olds start hiking again. I've celebrated with 90-year-olds who went from needing help with daily activities to living completely independently. These aren't miracles or rare exceptions. These are the natural results of understanding your body and giving it what it needs. The reason sarcopenia is so dangerous isn't just because of the muscle loss itself. It's because of what that muscle loss leads to. Falls become more likely. bones become more fragile. Independence becomes threatened. But when you understand what's happening and why, you can take back control. You can rebuild what's been lost. And it's easier than you might think. Peak 2. Jack's transformation. Let me tell you about Jack Miller, a 68-year-old retired carpenter from Ohio who came to see me 2 years ago. Jack walked into my office moving slowly, carefully, like someone afraid his own body might betray him. He told me that just 6 months earlier, he'd been working on his daughter's deck, something he'd done 100 times before. But that day, when he tried to lift a bag of concrete mix, something he used to do without thinking, his legs nearly gave out. "Dr. Lewis," he said, his voice quiet with embarrassment, "I used to build houses. Now I can barely carry groceries from the car to the kitchen without needing to rest." His wife Sarah had driven him to the appointment because he no longer trusted himself behind the wheel. The confidence of a man who'd worked with his hands his entire life was disappearing, one small defeat at a time. Jack's story broke my heart because I'd heard it so many times before. Strong, capable people watching their bodies weaken, feeling helpless, believing their best days were behind them. But I knew something Jack didn't know yet. I knew his story was just beginning. After running some tests, I confirmed what I suspected. Jack had lost nearly 30% of his muscle mass over the past 5 years. But here's what excited me, and what I immediately shared with Jack and Sarah. Muscle loss at any age can be reversed. The body's ability to build muscle doesn't disappear when you turn 60 or 70 or even 80. It just needs the right fuel and the right approach. I started Jack on a simple nutrition plan focused on specific muscle-building foods. Nothing complicated, nothing expensive, nothing that required him to completely change his lifestyle. Just strategic additions to meals he was already eating. 3 months later, Jack called me with excitement in his voice that I hadn't heard during our first meeting. "Dr. Lewis, I carried 6 bags of mulch yesterday. 6 bags, and I felt strong doing it." 6 months after that, Jack had not only regained his confidence, but had actually become stronger than he'd been in years. He was back to working on home projects, taking long walks with Sarah, and even started teaching woodworking classes at the local community center. Today, Jack often tells people that the day he learned about these powerful foods was the day he got his life back. Not just his strength, but his confidence, his independence, and his hope for the future. And the beautiful thing is, Jack's transformation started with just one simple food that I'm going to share with you today. Truff 2, understanding the problem. But before I tell you about that first powerful food, it's important to understand why our bodies struggle with muscle loss as we age, and why traditional approaches often fall short. As we get older, our bodies become less efficient at processing protein, the building block of muscle. Think of it like this. When you were younger, your body was like a highly efficient factory that could take the protein from your food and immediately put it to work, building and maintaining muscle. But as we age, that factory starts to slow down. It needs more raw materials and more time to do the same job. At the same time, something else is happening inside your body that most people never learn about. Chronic inflammation, like a small fire that never quite goes out, begins to quietly interfere with your body's ability to maintain muscle mass. This isn't the obvious inflammation you might feel in a sore joint. This is systemic inflammation, working silently throughout your body, breaking down muscle tissue faster than your body can rebuild it. Imagine a garden where weeds are growing faster than flowers. No matter how much you water and tend to the flowers, the weeds keep taking over. That's what chronic inflammation does to your muscles. It creates an environment where muscle breakdown happens faster than muscle building, regardless of how active you try to be. This is why simply exercising more or eating more protein often isn't enough. Your body needs specific nutrients that not only provide the building blocks for muscle, but also fight that underlying inflammation and help your body process protein more efficiently. The good news is that certain foods are incredibly powerful at doing exactly that. They're like having the right tools for the right job. And the first food I want to share with you is one that most people walk past in the grocery store without realizing they're missing out on nature's most complete muscle-building protein. Peak 3. The complete protein powerhouse. The first food that can begin reversing your muscle loss starting today is quinoa. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Dr. Lewis, I've never even heard of quinoa, let alone cooked with it. But hear me out, because what I'm about to tell you about this ancient grain could change everything. Quinoa is what we call a complete protein, which means it contains all 9 essential amino acids that your body needs to build muscle, but cannot produce on its own. Most plant foods only contain some of these amino acids, which is why vegetarians often have to combine different foods to get complete proteins. But quinoa is different. It's like nature's perfect muscle-building package, all in one tiny seed. Here's what makes quinoa so powerful for people our age. 1 cup of cooked quinoa provides 8 grams of complete protein, plus iron for energy, magnesium for muscle function, and fiber for better digestion and nutrient absorption. But the real magic happens when your body starts using those amino acids. Unlike many proteins that your body has to work hard to break down and use, quinoa's proteins are easily absorbed and immediately available for muscle repair and building. Think of quinoa as the premium fuel your muscle factory needs to start running efficiently again. Within hours of eating it, your body begins putting those amino acids to work, rebuilding and strengthening the muscle tissue that's been slowly disappearing. Now, you might be wondering how to actually use quinoa in your daily meals. It's simpler than you think. Quinoa cooks just like rice, but in half the time. You can use it anywhere you'd use rice or pasta. Make a quinoa salad with vegetables and a light dressing for lunch. Add it to your morning eggs for extra protein. Use it as a base for hearty soups. The possibilities are endless, and the taste is mild and pleasant, kind of like a nuttier version of rice. But quinoa is just the beginning. To really maximize your muscle-building potential, you want to combine it with lean proteins that your body can easily use. Grilled chicken breast, for example, provides 25 grams of protein per 3-ounce serving. Wild-caught salmon not only gives you high-quality protein, but also omega-3 fatty acids that fight inflammation. Even eggs, one of nature's most perfect proteins, can be a powerful addition to your muscle-building arsenal. The key is consistency. When you start incorporating these foods into your daily routine, you're not just eating a meal. You're sending a signal to your body that it's time to start rebuilding, time to start getting stronger, time to reclaim the vitality that's been waiting inside you all along. Truth 3. The protective warriors. While building muscle is crucial, protecting the muscle you already have is equally important. This is where most people miss a critical piece of the puzzle. You see, it's not enough to just add muscle-building foods to your diet. You also need foods that act like bodyguards. protecting your existing muscle from the inflammatory processes that are constantly trying to break it down. Let me introduce you to what I call the protective warriors. 3 foods that work tirelessly behind the scenes to shield your muscles from damage while you sleep, while you rest, and even while you're building new muscle tissue. First, we have walnuts, nature's perfect anti-inflammatory snack. Just a handful of walnuts provides more omega-3 fatty acids than many fish. These omega-3s act like tiny firefighters in your body, putting out the inflammatory fires that contribute to muscle breakdown. Studies have shown that people who eat walnuts regularly have lower levels of cortisol, the stress hormone that can actually accelerate muscle loss. Think of walnuts as your daily insurance policy against muscle destruction. Next are blueberries, small but mighty warriors packed with antioxidants called anthocyanins. These compounds don't just fight general inflammation. They specifically target the type of oxidative stress that happens in muscle tissue after activity. When you eat blueberries regularly, you're essentially giving your muscles a protective shield that helps them recover faster and stay stronger longer. Plus, they taste like nature's candy, making them an easy addition to any meal. The third protective warrior is flax seeds, tiny powerhouses that most people completely overlook. Ground flax seeds provide omega-3s, fiber, and lignans, compounds that help regulate hormones and reduce inflammation throughout your body. But here's what makes flax seeds special. They improve your digestive health, which means you absorb more nutrients from all the other muscle-building foods you're eating. It's like upgrading your body's ability to use the good nutrition you're providing. These protective foods work best when you think of them as your daily armor. Sprinkle ground flax seeds on your morning yogurt. Keep a small container of walnuts in your car for an afternoon snack. Add blueberries to your quinoa breakfast bowl. These aren't just foods. They're your defense system, working around the clock to preserve and protect the strength you're building. Remember, muscle loss doesn't happen overnight, and neither does muscle building. But with the right protective foods working in your favor every single day, you're creating an environment where your muscles can thrive instead of just survive. Peak 4. The Nighttime Rebuilders. Now I want to share something with you that most people, including many doctors, don't fully understand about muscle building. Some of the most important muscle repair and growth happens while you sleep. That's right. Your body's muscle-building factory works overtime during the night, but only if you give it the right materials to work with. This is where 2 very special foods come into play, and I'm excited to tell you about them because they're probably already in your refrigerator right now. The first is cottage cheese. And I know what you're thinking. Dr. Lewis, cottage cheese, that old diet food from the 1980s? But cottage cheese contains something called casein protein, which is completely different from the fast-acting proteins in most foods. While other proteins are quickly absorbed and used by your body, casein protein releases slowly over 6 to 8 hours. It's like having a steady drip of muscle-building nutrients feeding your muscles all night long. When you eat a half cup of cottage cheese before bed, you're essentially setting up an all-night muscle repair service. While you sleep peacefully, casein protein is quietly delivering amino acids to your muscles, helping them recover from the day's activities and actually grow stronger. Many of my patients tell me they wake up feeling more refreshed and less stiff after adding cottage cheese to their evening routine. The second nighttime rebuilder is Greek yogurt, but not just any Greek yogurt. Look for varieties with at least 15 grams of protein per serving. Greek yogurt provides both fast and slow-releasing proteins, giving your body immediate and sustained muscle support. But here's the bonus. Greek yogurt also contains probiotics, the beneficial bacteria that improve your digestive health and help your body absorb nutrients more efficiently. Think about it this way. You wouldn't expect a construction crew to build a house without materials being delivered to the job site. Your muscles are the same way. They can't rebuild and strengthen without having the right materials available when they need them most. And for muscles, that's often during sleep when your body's repair processes are most active. Here's my favorite bedtime combination that I recommend to all my patients. Mix half a cup of cottage cheese with a quarter cup of Greek yogurt and add a handful of blueberries. You're getting slow-release protein, fast-acting protein, probiotics for better digestion, and antioxidants for muscle protection, all in one delicious evening snack. Many of my patients, including Jack, whom I mentioned earlier, credit this simple nighttime routine with dramatically improving their muscle recovery and morning energy levels. It's like giving your body the perfect tools to rebuild itself while you rest. 4. Your daily action plan. Now that you understand these powerful muscle-building and protecting foods, let me give you a simple daily plan that you can start implementing immediately. This isn't complicated, and you don't need to change your entire lifestyle. You're simply adding strategic nutrition to support your body's natural ability to build and maintain muscle. Start your morning with Greek yogurt, topped with blueberries and a tablespoon of ground flax seeds. This gives you protein for muscle building, antioxidants for protection, and omega-3s to fight inflammation. If you prefer a warm breakfast, make quinoa porridge with a sliced banana and chopped walnuts. For lunch, create a quinoa salad with grilled chicken, mixed vegetables, and a handful of walnuts. The quinoa provides complete protein, the chicken adds extra muscle-building amino acids, and the walnuts continue your anti-inflammatory protection. This combination keeps you satisfied and gives your muscles steady fuel throughout the afternoon. Your afternoon snack should be simple but strategic. A hard-boiled egg with a small handful of walnuts, or an apple with 2 tablespoons of natural almond butter. You're maintaining steady protein intake to prevent muscle breakdown between meals. Dinner should focus on high-quality protein like wild-caught salmon, lean beef, or even plant-based options like lentil and quinoa soup. Add steamed vegetables, and you have a complete muscle-supporting meal. Here's the most important part: your evening snack. This is when you set up your overnight muscle recovery. Have that cottage cheese and Greek yogurt combination I mentioned, or simply a half cup of cottage cheese with some berries. Your muscles will thank you in the morning. Remember, consistency matters more than perfection. You don't need to eat every single one of these foods every single day. But the more consistently you include them in your routine, the faster you'll notice improvements in your strength, energy, and overall vitality. Don't try to change everything at once. Pick 2 or 3 of these foods to focus on this week. Once they become natural parts of your routine, add in the others. Small, consistent steps lead to remarkable transformations, just like they did for Jack and thousands of my other patients. As we reach the end of our time together today, I want you to remember something important. The muscle loss you might be experiencing isn't a life sentence. It's not an inevitable part of aging that you have to accept. It's a challenge that can be overcome. And your transformation can begin today with your very next meal. Every single food I've shared with you today is available at your local grocery store. You don't need expensive supplements, complicated meal plans, or dramatic lifestyle changes. You just need the knowledge you now have and the decision to act on it. Jack Miller's story could be your story. The strength he regained, the confidence he rebuilt, the independence he protected, all of that is possible for you too. It starts with understanding that your body is still capable of remarkable things when you give it what it needs. You're not alone in this journey. Thousands of people just like you have used these same foods to reclaim their strength and vitality. Your age doesn't define your limitations. Your choices do. If this information has been helpful to you, please share it with someone you care about who might need to hear it. Subscribe to our channel for more practical health guidance designed specifically for people who want to live their strongest, most independent lives. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Which of these foods are you most excited to try? Have you already experienced success with any of them? Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to take their first step toward renewed strength and vitality. Your strongest days can still be ahead of you,